The next decade will be transformational. A significant and rapid scale-up of infrastructure and human capital is required to meet growing energy demands while achieving a sustainable emissions pathway and driving inclusive, sustainable development in Africa. The way we work is changing. Independent professionals are now one of the fastest-growing segments of the global workforce, and Africa is no exception. New pathways and models have emerged to access and deploy this talent, providing increasing levels of agility and capacity to organizations across the world. Backed by the 3 Cans Group, ATP operates as a dynamic marketplace, connecting independent professionals on one side and organizations driving sustainability and inclusive growth on the other. We work with a diverse pool of professionals. Where expertise is needed, ATP sources it rapidly and locally first.
Presently, I'm engaged in an exciting project with a major advisory group aimed at unlocking capital for one of Africa's high-growth sectors. I stepped in as a critical resource on an urgent project need, was prepped, interviewed, contracted, and onboarded within a single week. As consultants, one of our biggest hurdles is positioning our personal brand for credible projects. ATP's model enables fast access to exciting projects, supports candidates to prep for client interviews, and manages the administrative aspects of contracting and billing, which eliminates the risk of non-payment.
I'm a consultant with Allied Talent Partner. I offer over 20 years of experience working on both the public and the private side for organizations like IFC, Private Equity Fund, and the government. Being a consultant with Allied Talent Partner works very well for me as it allows me to work on a wide variety of assignments and client.
ATP partners with organizations across the public, private, and social sectors, including development finance institutions and investors, infrastructure developers, consulting firms, NGOs, governments, and corporations, matching them with the right expertise precisely when they need it.
That we normally get from investors and project developers is investors say, we've seen a lot of projects brought in front of us, but they're not good enough for us to fund. And on the other hand, the projects will say, or the developers will say, we have projects, they are ready, but what we don't have is the financing. So there's always a gap between the two, the financing and the implementation. And what we are trying to do as this consortium of the Global Energy Alliance, GR, World Bank, TDB, and ATP is to try and bridge that gap. So as TDB is looking at the pipeline that has been presented to it by the companies, then ATP is bringing on experts who help TDB to evaluate the opportunity, to help with the due diligence, to help with structuring the project in legal terms, technical, financial, as well as looking at carbon finance. And that brings the developers and the investor in this, in this circumstances, TDB, much closer.
The project that ESCOM is embarking on aims at determining the carbon dioxide emission factor that is associated with every unit of electricity that is generated. So the reason we contact the ATP is that they should help to determine the carbon dioxide emission factor for the country, and they did help us quite a lot in offering us the expertise, the technical know-how on how to go about calculating this grid emission factor for the country. This has enabled us, or has created an opportunity for stakeholders in the energy sector in Malawi to start looking at the opportunities that are there in carbon credits trading.
I'm always really excited when I reach out to the ATP team because they're able to help with specialist staffing requests or surge support. And they turn the request around really quickly. 2 to 3 days, they're able to provide really high quality candidates that can deliver on the workflow. It's been a pleasure working with ATP.
We are a talent utility, unlocking human capital to power Africa's energy access and sustainable development ambitions. Allied Talent Partners, strengthening local capacity and fueling economic vitality.